Hi, this is Michael from TuneTrack, and we're back again in the studio for the second video in this songwriting series, which is going to be all about adding texture and ambience with some creative doubling techniques and EZkeys. So let's get started on the drums. I love the sound of the UK pop expansion that I have loaded here, but I want the overall feel of the song to be a bit more electronic sounding, especially in the chorus. So I'm going to accomplish this easily by duplicating the instrument track with EZdrummer so that all the MIDI is also duplicated. Then I'm going to change the library that's loaded to the Dream Pop EZX and select the Deep preset. I'm also going to change the snare and pitch it up a bit to match the snare that's in the UK Pop EZX. Now, behind the scenes, I tried a bunch of different electronic expansion libraries, but there was something about the way that the Dream Pop EZX blended with the UK Pop library that just worked in a way that made it sound more like one drum sound rather than two stacked on top of each other. I really only want to double the kick and the snare and not the cymbals or the hats, so I'll mute them in the Dream Pop EZX. I also want to remove the ghost notes from the snare on the electronic kit because I really like how articulate they are in the UK Pop EZX snare. And while I love what Dream Pop is doing on the hard hits of the kick and the snare, I want to keep all of the detail on the soft hits. So I'll do this by deleting all low-velocity snare hits in the Pro Tools MIDI editor. Another way you can make two sources blend together better is by processing them together on a bus. So I've sent both sounds to a drum bus, and I've loaded EZmix 2, and I'll try a few different drum bus signal chains. Alright, I'll go with this one for now because it's not changing the sound of the drums too much, but it is bringing out some of the sustain of the electronic kick, and I can always dial it in more when I mix this session. Alright, so the next thing that I want to do is add a melody line with EZkeys to the verse to build some atmosphere. Because it's so simple, I'm just going to record it on my MIDI controller. Okay, I've recorded it with piano, but I don't think that's the sound that I'm looking for, so I'm going to switch to the hybrid Harp library and try one of the more atmospheric sounds. This is closer to what I want, and I spent some time behind the scenes auditioning different presets, and I actually landed on the string echoes preset because I think the rhythm of the delay is interesting along with the syncopation of the notes. Check it out. I have some plans for a guitar effect next, so it's important that I make this harp sound as different as possible from the guitar, and I'm even going to pan it hard to one side once I'm done. To start with this, I'm first going to add an EZmix high-pass filter, because with the drum double and the bass and what I'll eventually do with this guitar effect idea, we're going to overload on the low end and things are going to get really muddy fast. I still want to make this harp stand out even more, so I'm going to go to one of my favorite EZmix pack, the ambient EZmix pack, and load a signal chain that adds a cool reverb, but also changes the sound of the harp to stand out even more. I want to build some interest and space with the guitar track on the verse, so I'm going to create an effects bus and load some EZmix ambient delay and reverb presets. These are another two of my favorite packs for building that wall of sound type of effect. Alright, as you can hear, this is way too much. It's a cool effect, but I need to be able to control when it fades in and out. So because it's on a bus, I can simply automate the send. So I'll draw in some automation on the first chord, and then just copy and paste this automation every time that chord is played. Moving on to the bass, I wanted to do something that gave the chorus more of a driving energy by adding a synth sound. So one of the great things about being able to easily write bass lines directly inside of EZbass is that you can also drag this MIDI out of EZbass and play it with any other instrument. So I'm going to use the bass line that I created in EZbass and drag it out and double it with a synth virtual instrument. I've added another instrument track with the soft tube synth that I like, and I'll take the chorus MIDI from EZbass and simply drag it to that track. And then the synth will play it back. That brings us to the end of this section. Please make sure to subscribe and look out for the next video where I'll mix this whole project. There's a lot of work to do. We've got a bunch of masking, low mids that need to be cleaned up, and general excitement that needs to be added to the mix. So stay tuned.